House approved a plan to try to convince Ford to keep jobs at the Claycomo plant. Now, it's part of a special session going on at the state capitol. Chris Hernandez just returned from Jefferson City. He's here now in the newsroom. Chris?
Well, Mark, just a short time ago, lawmakers gave final approval in the House and Senate to the Senate side. We're talking about a package of incentives worth $150 million over 10 years. But there are some add-ons that could complicate the next round of debate.
State Rep Jerry Nolte of Gladstone debated opponents while pushing to pass an incentive package that benefits the Ford Claycomo plant. It's the biggest factory in the metro with nearly 4,000 employees.
Missouri families need jobs. It's really that simple.
Much of the debate here has centered on whether to expand the incentive program to include data storage centers. Many times when you are using your cell phone or your laptop, you are creating data that must be stored somewhere by these big companies. Many lawmakers want that business to come here to Missouri. Others say this is not the way to do it.
It could lead to thousands of jobs. It is an effort to bring in a whale of a big company. It would be like bringing in another Ford.
Tim Fluke of Liberty wants the incentives expanded because he says attracting storage centers will also create jobs. But Ray Salva of Sugar Creek argued against it, saying it could hurt the Ford package.
That bill doesn't have a chance in hell in the Senate. It could be a bill killer. We want the bill for the Ford people to pass.
The governor called this special session to create incentives for Ford because state officials expect the automaker to change the assembly lines at several plants soon. And they want Ford to move new production to Claycomo rather than losing lines and jobs to other states.
The incentive package goes to a Senate committee tomorrow and the full Senate on Thursday. In the newsroom, Chris Hernandez, NBC Action News.
Hey, Chris, we're hearing a lot of debate on how to pay for these incentives. Anything coming out of that?
Well, the original idea was to reform the state's retirement and pension system and use that savings to pay for the Ford incentives. Now, that plan also passed out of the House today as well. But it is controversial, and there's another plan that has been floated to just count the Ford incentives under a different plan that's already budgeted. So we'll have to see what happens in the Senate.
All right, Chris Hernandez in the newsroom. Thanks.
Sure.